You are watching FEM Talk on Trajectory TV. Welcome and enjoy the show.
Acolo am fost personalul de serviciu care ce înjura ce blestematul ăsta și să fură mâncarea.
Unde?
La Dicta, la Sfântul Nicolae. Să nu fie toate numai pentru bani. Acum deja numai pentru bani. Pe toți donațiile și astea, și donațiile privesc copiii, nu?
Da.
Privesc copiii. Donațiile se pune în
The purpose of this documentary is to raise a universal alarm on the extreme poverty levels in which families and over 41.5% of Romanian children live in. Some children go to bed without eating. Some eat every 2 days. 8 in 10 Romanian children in orphanages are not even orphans. The extreme poverty levels of their families forces the parents to abandon their children, either in an orphanage, a placement center, or with a family member, so they can go abroad and work. Even more alarming than the rising poverty levels in Romania are its ramifications: neglect, child abuse, child labor, rape, trafficking, school abandonment, children ending up in the system, in prison, or even worse, dead. Now imagine a world in which all children can grow up in a loving family with proper food, access to education, sexual education, access to proper mental health and physical health, access to integration programs. Imagine these children having the same chance in life as our children. Let's be family to these children. All of us, together. Let's be the answer to the end of poverty and social exclusion. Join our forces and help us build a better world in which families and children of Romania flourish.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
What is up, Fem Talk Nation? Welcome to another episode of Fem Talk. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. You know, we started off the week great and with greatness in our minds, heart, and spirit. So today we are just talking about our journeys, where we started, where we're going, what our future looks like in our mind. And of course, we're going to start everything off with a hot topic as soon as we bring on our beautiful sister queens. So we have... Click somebody. Hey, Tracy, what's up?
Click me.
Randolph.
Hey.
Yeah. She talks. Yeah.
Fem talkers.
And our beautiful Dr. Melissa Mimi Simmons.
What's
So,
up,
guys,
Fem Talk?
so before we get started, I want to let y'all know right now that QR code down there in the corner is the direct QR code to donate to the children of Romania for the trip that some of our beautiful brothers and sisters are taking in order to go support our children that need help in every manner that we can provide help. So this will be in direct support of that movement. And it is a movement. It's a ripple that's going to turn into a giant tide and hopefully a tsunami of give back in many areas of the world over time. So definitely click that. Donate anything. I mean, if you donate 50 cents, we're happy. Anything goes a long way with that. So y'all, how are you feeling?
Good. We had a little delay. He was like, I know. Yeah, think about that one.
Right. Fine, not fine. Remember that, girls?
Oh my, no. Don't do it. Don't do it, Tracy. All right, y'all. So some interesting news happened yesterday that we're going to cover today. So, Tracy, if you will.
Oh, where is it, everybody? Need to be quicker on the draw, and I don't even
Crazy fire. So if y'all ain't catch it, this is what's going on. Don Lemon was released from CNN yesterday unexpectedly, and of course he's very upset about it. He went to Twitter to tell us all about it. So he essentially just said, "I am stunned," and had no idea that it was coming. But if you go into the story here that we now have on our screen, this is the breakdown of what's going on. So he is hit out at the network after his firing, which came after accusations of misogyny and misbehavior. So CNN said it parted ways with Lemon, who co-hosted its morning show, saying, "We wish him well." It follows on-air remarks by Lemon in which he said Republican Nikki Haley, 51, was not in her prime. But what female politician is at that rate? Everybody can't be an AOC. So just saying. So the dismissal also comes on the heels of another major U.S. media departure. Just moments before Lemon's announcement, Fox News announced it was parting ways with primetime host Tucker Carlson. So my opinion on that one actually probably has to do with that lawsuit that they just settled, but we'll come back to that. A longtime fixture of the network, Lemon was most recently a co-host of CNN's This Morning program. The show will continue with Lemon's former co-hosts, Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins, the network said. They opened their Tuesday morning segment with remarks on Lemon's departure. Of course, Don was a big part of the show over the last 6 months. He was one of the first anchors on CNN to have me on his show. That's something I'll obviously never forget, said Caitlin Collins. Poppy Harlow added her own tribute, calling Lemon one of my first friends here at CNN. I'm so thankful to have worked alongside him for his support for nearly 15 years here, and I wish him all good things ahead, she said. So what I'm trying to figure out is like, why now and why back to back? So again, they said it earlier, Don Lemon landed in hot water earlier this year after comments he made about Republican presidential hopeful Nikki Haley, a former UN ambassador and governor of South Carolina. Miss Haley, isn't she married? Anyways, was not in her prime, Lemon said in February, a remark widely decried as sexist. Which, yeah, it's kind of messed up, Don. When a woman is considered to be in her prime, in her 20s, 30s, and maybe her 40s, he said. Dude, have several seats. I'm just saying what the facts are. Google it. He added in response to objections from his female co-hosts, Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins. Lemon issued a statement on the same day saying he regretted his inartful and irrelevant comments. He also apologized to the newsroom and agreed to partake in mandatory training to address the incident. But the remarks sparked widespread criticism, including from actress Michelle Yeoh, 60, who appeared to reference the comments in her Oscar acceptance speech last month, saying, "Ladies, don't let anybody tell you you're ever past your prime." So if you guys have no idea who Michelle Yeoh is, it's actually the
Academy Award winner, right?
Yeah, she's the main character in the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes. Well, if it is past prime, is 60 dead? No,
right.
I mean, let's be honest. I thought the comments when he said it, even his co-host got him as soon as he uttered the words from his mouth. His co-host was right there to jump on it and say, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
He admitted he owned it. He said, "I own it, and I'll take whatever kind of training or whatever I need to take." I think that is just what they call a excuse to have gotten rid of them. They probably have a different way they want to go. They probably are looking to freshen up the show or change it. Maybe they don't like what he's bringing in anymore, and they took this opportunity to get rid of him. That's what people do. They hold their cards in their bag until it's time for them to make a change, and because they always got to get around the contract. So the second they put something in, they keep everything in their pocket. Say, okay, when this happens, this is what we're gonna do. Right. And I just feel it was just their opportune time. They saw that everything with Tucker Carlson happening, which was two totally different situations. And who hasn't said something inappropriate that is on national TV or international TV at this point? And who's the police that now is telling us what we can and can't say? It doesn't. Now everything you say is worth a slap or take them off a TV or do. Come on.
Well, that's the importance of building and maintaining and expanding our own media. So Don Lemon, unfortunately, he has said several things over the years. I'm like, dude, you're such a sellout. But that's just my opinion on things. As far as the Tucker Carlson thing, I think one of the requirements of the settlement recently agreed to by Dominion and Fox was the reason why he was let go or asked to go elsewhere.
I agree.
From January 6th and other incidents in which he's shown himself to be let's say a good old boy. That I feel like he was problematic. It's one thing to share your opinions, but when you hold a platform like that, your opinions, without being well thought out, can become dangerous. And I feel that Tucker Carlson, just like former President Trump, was a very dangerous individual.
Absolutely. They all knew at the time that the whole thing was a lie, and they all perpetrated it. And that's what got him in trouble, because he was, sending text that this is ridiculous. This is a lie. Right. I can't believe we're doing this, but here you are on national, on international TV, perpetrating the lie, and now we want to say, now that you got to pay. I agree, it was part of the settlement.
Who's to say they didn't tell him?
Well, the funny thing is, they had a conversation with him, but Don Lemon found out through his agent that he was canned.
But that's how they do
us. Nerve to tell him to his face.
That's how they do us, is to see you later, because there's no level of respect. And I was talking to my sister earlier. Don Lemon is going to do fine. I think whatever platform he opens up tomorrow or next week or whatever, he could just start a podcast in his home tomorrow, and he'll have over 1 million viewers. It's
especially now, right?
Especially now, right? Yes.
So time for a book tour, Don. Go find them people that still like you.
Right. I mean, I just think it's look, they got rid of you. That's what they do. They discard us when we serve them no more purpose, and they go and find a replacement that looks just like him, and now say, look what we're doing now. So that's what they do. They did it on ABC with with the couple, on Good Morning America, and they found lookalikes and they kept it moving. That's what they do. They just discard you when they are done with you.
Well, and that's today's hot topic, y'all.
And hot it is.
So, ladies, I actually have a question for you guys. And I just kind of want to gauge where everybody's at, because we are obviously in areas and spots in our lives that we're not completely satisfied, but we are doing well. So I want us to kind of reflect on what was the difficult time in each of your lives that crushed you, but you are grateful for now.
Nearly crushed us. Nearly?
Ooh.
Nearly crushed you.
I thought you were going to ask us a simple question, Brandy.
Right?
No, ma'am.
Louise.
Wow. Ooh.
Oh, wow. I know mine's exactly.
Pick one.
Well, go on then, she.
I said pick one. I don't know.
Well, Mimi said she got one. We'll start with Mimi then.
Yeah.
What you got, Mimi?
I was just reflecting when when I was asked to resign at from the school district, when the state person came and asked me to resign because she didn't feel I was loyal to the new board member group. So she asked me to put in my resignation, and if I didn't, they would destroy my name in public, and they had already started writing false reports with their news reporter protege. So that crushed me, but I'm grateful for it today.
So what were the repercussions of that? Where did that lead you after that incident?
Jobless. It left me jobless for a long time, and because when people make a point to destroy you, they do just that. And politics, that's a funny, so it's not a funny, but it's a funny machine, where when they're ready to, like, just with the two situations we just talked about, Don Lemon, and when they're done with you, they're done with you,
right?
And they do everything they do to make themselves look good, and you look like you're the problem. You've been the problem the whole time, and that's what politics does. I think I was naive to think that I was in a position that had that kind of politics. I didn't know that those politics were attached to the job I had. Why I'm grateful today, it taught me, I was just reading a book, the greatest pain you go through would if you allow it to teach you, will be your greatest victory. So I learned to become resilient. I learned to create multiple streams of income. I learned to never, ever depend on a job again. And I think my swan song in that whole scenario was when I was just a couple of weeks ago, when I was offered a job and I declined it. It's the first time in my life that I was able to do something like that, because I had enough streams of income going on that I said I could do this. I could take the risk and do this on my own. So, I would have never, if I was comfortable, that would never have happened. And I'm excited. Life is exciting. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question to that, because do you feel like, what you went through with that school district also allowed you to see that those things, right, those type of careers are not permanent, right? So now when it came to, now someone else offering you a job, now you can say, you know what, I don't have to do this.
Yes,
I'm good,
it's so
buddy.
exciting. So, and I would say this, and history has a funny way of maybe not repeating themselves with you, but another African American woman went into the position I had a few years after I left, and now they are, what they've done to her. She probably could never walk back into public education again, and she pretty much said she wouldn't. She's currently in a lawsuit with them, and that's exactly what I didn't want. Wow. And to be able today to say I'm not in that position is huge. Because you really do think, Tracy, to your point, and Brandy has said this so many times, Brandy, you give your life to these places and you
Right.
think they have your back, and that is not what they're doing. You are
Mhm.
a commodity. And the moment your value has nothing, the moment you use up your value, they
Mhm.
get someone else. They get
Mhm.
another clog, what they call it, another piece in the clog to move on, move the machine on.
Yeah.
You're just a piece.
Ladies, how about you?
You want to go, Shima?
Nah.
You look like you were thinking, like you were ready to say something. um. Ooh,
And a
I'm like
choke.
Shima, like which one? Which one? I'm gonna start with the early years, because Melissa reminded me of that resilience. So it was the day that I had to tell my father that he had to leave our house.
Mm.
Um, it just made me a strong young woman, honestly. And it prepared me for the fights that were coming later, the being a single mother, breast cancer. It prepared me for that. So I don't think anything was as crushing for me as that moment. Yeah, that was the crushing moment for me. Everything else, I think I built the strength from having to do that at very early on, very young. I was only 12 years old, so
Wow.
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
How does a 12-year-old manage that in their mind? You
Mm,
know, I remember when my father walked out the house at 9,
mhm,
and I don't think I think in my later years I had to get counseling to deal with abandonment issues.
mhm, mhm,
How does a 12-year-old how did you come through that?
mm.
I'm just asking a question. I know, it just seems so im-
Um,
That's a
incredible to
level, and then you
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't,
spiritual
I
level.
don't, I don't know if I ever really felt like a 12-year-old in that
Wow.
moment, right? But how I came through it, right? I have an amazing family. My
Mm,
mom, my grandma, all of my aunts, like that's how I came through it. And staying in church and knowing God, even at 12, right? Because they kept me there and they prayed a lot. So it really is and I'm gonna say the women, right? And it's not that I
mm,
didn't have any men in my life, because I did. I had some great men in my life, but the women in my family are absolutely amazing. So they taught me strength and they taught me resilience through that. Also, that's my mommy, right there. But yeah, I mean, that woman who just put that comment up there, just the strength that she has. So that's how I got through it. It really was my family, and we not only just for that situation, right? Because it was something that we didn't talk about. Let's just be real. We didn't talk
Mhm.
about it, but um, because my family loved to love on
Mhm.
me and people, and we gathered and we had so many good times even when the bad was happening. We knew how to come together and make good times out of bad. So
yeah.
because of that, that's how I really handled it, right? Mommy says prayer, absolutely. But at 12, I wasn't a praying kid, right? I was, but I wasn't. You understand? I didn't
Yes.
recognize what prayer really meant at 12 years old. I
Mhm.
didn't learn that until I was in my 20s, to be honest. I didn't really find God and know Him for myself until I was in my 20s. So at 12, it was really just having that support system around me, from my blood relatives to my extended family. Like we just had a lot of really good people
Wow.
around us. Yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
yeah,
Praise of the righteous. God
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
bless.
yeah,
Yes. I love
yeah.
that.
Yes, yes, yes. I guess it is my turn, huh?
It is.
Um, well, I'm just thinking about what you're saying as far as crushing.
Mm,
Um, I'm such a I think I'm such a rebellious person that I don't even want to say that stuff crushed me.
mm,
It shook me. It had me doubting for a while. It looked like one of my eyes was closed, smiling. I'm a little nervous because you're not. Listen, I'm at a certain age. I'm like, wait, why is your eyes closing? Keep your eye open. Most of what I feel like, I guess what would be expected said is physical. Health for me, but they were health issues, but the crushing and the resilience came about with the mindset, the changing of the mindset, because a lot of it was a defeatist mindset based on what I went through. These crushing diagnoses about how your life is gonna go. I'm gonna talk about this one. I don't talk about it much, and I don't think I said it on TV. But at 18, I found out that I could not have children. Jesus. And I was angry. I went through all the stages. I was angry for a long time. I still have moments of not anger, but of hesitation. Like maybe I should have done something different. But it wasn't crushing until I had some later health issues. And I was like, wait, these are all tied to what I would think would make me a woman.
Wow.
So that was all that compiled together. Yeah, that felt like it was a little crushing. A little crushing.
Sounds like a big crush.
Yeah.
And
sorry, Jen.
We're holding it back.
I try not to go all in because I know what it does. I know what it does to me. I know what it does when my friends hear it. But I just, it's a fight. They all are. Yeah. And I know, Brandy, you have to give yours too. But it is a fight on the inside and the out. Come back from anything, small or large. It's a fight.
Yep.
And you got to be willing to fight. See, it's when you're not willing to fight that you don't overcome, you don't grow, you don't figure out that next path. You don't know where you're going because you've given up. But if you decide to fight whatever for your rights, for your health, for your to negate the fact that you're always thinking of love and not getting certain kinds of love. And I'm going random and off the top of my head, but if you're not willing to fight for those things, how are you willing to get anything out of this world? Anything that's of substance. Yeah. So it's almost like you don't have a choice. I feel like I don't have a choice. I want all of what is good and all of what God has promised me. And he did not promise me that it was going to be easy. So if that means I got to fight for it, then I'm in it.
Let's go.
Amen. Yes. Ring the bell. Somebody ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Yeah, here we go.
I don't have any tissue around.
Hey, I just happen to have a rag close.
Brandy, we didn't know you were doing it like this today.
Hey, I need everybody to know why I'm going hard in the paint for us in this sisterhood right here. In this show that we do every week for y'all.
Yeah.
Don't you do it.
Brandy, please. I can't do that. Not my tough girl, don't do it.
All right, y'all. So here's what's going on. I am actually going to be working background for at least the next 90 days in order to position us to
Better
Be a blessing to many while also making sure that we're good. And you guys will see the changes in the show in the upcoming weeks and months because we're going to make this thing even more amazing for you. So that's what's going on. That's why I need you guys to see why I would make that sacrifice for these ladies.
Can I just jump in real
Oh
quick?
my gosh.
Because now we can talk about it. But when this first came about, when I tell you crickets, couldn't say anything because it is a true sacrifice. Because we love this. We enjoy this. It's work. It's planning. It's meetings that we miss and we get on. We love it. We love it. And for her to say that she wants to do everything that she can to get us to where we all aspire, we talk about what we dream for this show and for each of our own individual things. For her to say, I could take a step back and make sure that we're good. We have strong foundation. We have structure. Says something about the type of person she is. So when she said it, she gave us all pause because it's a sacrifice. And who does that?
Shima, I was talking to Lamont today about how, unfortunately, in the world, we don't often find sisterhood.
Yeah.
We find, I just did a post because I needed to post something of how I was treated by other women.
Right.
You wouldn't ever know that, I've never physically met Brandy.
Y'all wouldn't know that though, huh?
You would never know. I had to remind myself I've never met Brandy. We met during COVID, and this is how you did things.
Mm.
And I call this woman my sister. She has sacrificed for me more than people I know.
Mm.
I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know her like that. And her brilliance, gosh, Brandy, your wisdom. I love we say one thing, you say another, and I love your perspective.
Yeah.
You remind me of the generation that needs to push us out the way in order for things to change for that generation. And when Shima said it, when she said that, I was like, huh? Like I was like, did I miss something? But it's who Brandy is, who you are.
Yeah.
And you see the vision, you have the vision, you see the greater. And I have no words to really put to who you are, but
that's all right. Actions have a greater impact for me. That's why a lot of people can't stand my ass. Because I'm gonna listen to what you say, but I'll watch your feet.
That's right.
And when I watch your feet and something ain't adding up, I'll call it like I see it.
That's
and
right.
some folks can't deal with that. But my people that love me, they love me because of that. And so I don't need everybody to love me. I've never been that type of individual.
Yeah.
What I need is for the people that I love most to be all right.
That's right.
That's what I need. That's what I'm worried about. But as far as nearly crushing experiences, circling back, y'all, we back to the conversation. So I have 3. I'm gonna go through the various stages of things. So my first major disappointment that had me rethinking the purpose of life and things is actually when I was still in high school, my very last gymnastics meet. I scored well on all of my apparatuses, and the last event was vault. And I over rotated on my vault on the first one. So I didn't get a hell of a score on that. And then something happened that I felt off on my next two. So I ran past the springboard. So when you do that, it counts as like a scratch. So I ended up not scoring. If I had done well on vault like I typically would have, I would have been number 6 in all of Colorado.
Wow.
So that was a huge blow and disappointment. But it was at that point I began to understand how gifted I am. It still hadn't fully set in though. And how blessed I was to even have been in a sport like that for so many years without any cataclysmic injuries. Because a lot of people in that sport typically leave that sport due to a major injury.
Yeah.
As Sam could tell you.
Yeah.
Because she was actually my gymnastics teammate back in high school. So she knows what I'm talking about. So that was something that began to form my character that you guys now see. The second big thing was when my mother was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. I was still working a full-time job. And during that time, I'd maybe taken off 5 or 6 days total during my mom's whole process of being treated. And when she had her surgery, she had to have a temporary colostomy bag so she could heal. And I was out for a whole week behind that surgery. And when I got back, they had basically changed my whole position at work. So because they had effed up, they needed the person that was basically the best at the task that they were falling behind on back in that position. I let my manager know. I was like, if I'm doing this, I no longer need my laptop because I was in an entirely different sect of things. He was like, well, if you turn in your laptop, you turn in a 2-week notice. Okay.
Right.
It was in that moment I realized that my parents and the sacrifices that they made for me to do the things that I've been able to do up until that point in life were more important than that damn job.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Say that.
And so that was 2017. That was September 29th, 2017. Was my last day working a traditional job. And when I realized how important that was to me over all else, it applied to other areas of life. So my third one is how I met Tracy. And by default, Shima and Melissa, Dr. Melissa. We had a mentor that attracted two kinds of people. People that had no idea that people like him exist, and people just like him. This is why it was crushing, because you guys all know that there are gurus, life coach specialists out here that are nothing but fake ass individuals. And this dude had a good game. But when I caught wind of game and what he was actually up to, I didn't say, well, maybe it's, or maybe it's.
No.
I saw for what it was. I didn't tell nobody. I bounced. I saw what I needed to see to have confirmation that this was not the space for me. But at that point, I had met people like Apprentice Ahmad. I had met Tracy, Dr. Antoinette Marie. I would soon meet Shima. I would soon hear of and get to know Mimi. I came into contact with so many amazing people after being crushed, believing that this person that called himself our coach and mentor and guide was about something other than effing people over. That was a disappointment. The craziest thing, y'all, I literally sacrificed 20 weeks straight of my life to build up this guy's program that turns out was stolen work from another guy whose works I actually study and know and apply to life even to this day. And it was all of less guys. A lot of people are like, well, you just cut and run. I don't care if that's how you see that. There are certain things in people and and actions I will not allow into my immediate space, especially when I understand how badly it can end for somebody that doesn't have the right mindset. For somebody to put that kind of hope in you, and you to basically say, ha ha ha, sucker, I got what I wanted. Figure it out.
Yep.
That's why people like us exist. We're here to catch you when you run into those individuals that try and take your heart, spirit, and crush it.
You better tell them.
And the best things come afterwards if you don't allow it to suck you into a dark place.
That's right.
And that's what you have to make out of those experiences, right? Had it not been, we would have never met, right? Had it not been, this would never be. FemTalk would never be, right? And you mentioned all the other beautiful people that we met through that experience. So had it not been, right? So it's always for a reason.
That's right.
Even if the intentions of certain people are not right, right? God has a plan, right? So we were made to be in contact with each other, even if it was through a bad experience, right? This would have never been. It would have never been.
And that's why I never look back at that experience and regret it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You be glad that you got out.
Yeah.
And took knowledge with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard place to be able to, but to really see the other side, you have to learn how to embrace these crushing moments.
Yeah.
It's
want to see that.
Heard all these, sayings and acronyms about it. That's how a diamond is made and all these kind of things. But when you see your own pain and hurt, you can't. That doesn't help.
Right.
Not at all.
I think you can't see that. But I think what I've learned and what we're all saying in our experiences, it's gonna hurt bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hurt bad. And certain things, like I've learned, certain hurts don't go away. I mean, they might not hurt anymore.
Right.
They don't go away. And almost that reminder of where you were allows you to still push away and push higher and push stronger towards that next place and the next places and the next people.
Yeah.
How would have been if in that situation, Brandy, you would have cut yourself off from people?
And that was my go-to at one point in time. And there are some people that I don't dislike them, but I would never allow them into my space, especially if they still remain the same people that they were. I have people in my own family that I don't deal with, but so closely, not because I don't love them, but because there's certain energy and toxicity that I will not allow into my immediate space. If I have nothing in common with you but drinking and smoking, and I no longer do those things, why would I hang out with you? We have nothing else in common. The things that I find interesting, you find abhorrent.
Yeah.
So I still love you, but no, I can't share space, time, and energy with you until me and my foundation are set so solidly, and the people that I want to help have been helped, and those people are now out helping others too. That's my goal. And so we move into the next part of this, which is a short commercial break. But when we get back, I want to know what everybody's vision is, their ultimate vision, what they would like to leave behind when we are no longer on this planet. So with that, y'all enjoy this short break. Tracy, I'm put you in charge of that.
All right, here we go.
love my work.
I love it.
We do too.
Yeah. She was getting down.
Oh man! So those of you that are tuning in or have been on here for a little while, that little QR code down in the corner is a QR code to donate to a cause for a group of people with associated with. Is it the Power of We, or is it an entirely different segment of said thing?
Yep, it is the Power of We in collaboration with Hope for Kids and also the State Department of the United States going into Romania to help beautiful children and families who are underserved. I don't know if you saw the video earlier, but they said 41% of the children there are orphaned.
Oh,
And
wow.
oftentimes there in Romania, it's not because they don't have families. It's because their families, it's so depressed there that the parents have to go elsewhere to work to survive, and they have to leave the kids behind. So really sad.
And
Yeah.
again, we come back down to those sacrifices. These kids, one, I'm absolutely grateful that people that we're directly and indirectly associated with have this type of heart for humanity.
Yeah.
Because it's so far and few between that we actually see people who genuinely love people,
Yeah.
especially children.
That right there.
Genuinely.
Genuinely. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
guys,
And I'm gonna speak on behalf of Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris on this one because normally when he does the Power of We Symposium, there's fundraising that happens. There's a lot of corporate sponsorship that takes place also because they're going into a foreign country. That corporate sponsorship is not there, right? So because of that, he's taking it to the people to ask everyone, if you could just donate even $1. Right, it would help tremendously for them to go into Romania and give some resources to the families there that need it. So, and we know that it's going directly into the hands that actually need it. And I always say that about the organizations that I support because I know that things are going directly to the people, right, and not to other organizations who may not serve the people. So I wanted to say that too. So please find it in your hearts to donate anything that you feel that you want to, that you desire to, that's in your heart to, and that you can. We greatly appreciate it. So thank you.
absolutely. So ladies, what is your vision? What is the thing or things that you would like to complete or set in motion before we leave this here planet in our physical form, of course?
Ooh-wee.
I don't know. That's a big one too. I don't know. For me, everything is feeling. I just right now there's so much hate and hurt in this world that if I was to leave here soon, that I would hope that I left a legacy of love, of just to not throw people away, consideration, of servitude. I say that word a lot. Just to feed on, love on, and give back and teach. I mean, these are the things you can't buy, you can't steal. When somebody teaches you something, nobody can take it from you. Once you learn something, it's yours. Once you feel love, it's yours. I guess my giving is giving. I just want to make sure that we don't forget that you can't have this world with all these advancements and developments and growth without love and giving and servitude. You can't. You cannot live this world. You can't watch this world grow without it.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Because we were raised to serve, and I could say that about you and I. We were raised to serve. So I'm going to take it to the other side of things, the side that I'm most passionate about when it comes to the health. But I really started focusing in on this as I'm spending some time really thinking about where I want to take life. I really want to affect the women like you and I. And the reason why it's so important for it to be the women is because we are the ones where things are built on our backs, and that love and that nurturing and that consideration, that is taught by women. So when you help women be healthy, right, it builds families and then it builds communities. So if I could like spread what Shima just described out there, if I start with the women, then it goes out in multitudes, right? Because without us, what would they do? You know what I mean? Like, what would they do? So I just want to expand on what she said, but I really want to start with the women, with the health, and I'm not just talking about physical health. I'm talking about it all.
Right.
Because all of that love and all that consideration, all of that comes out of us being whole people, right?
Absolutely. Wellness.
So if I can help build whole people, then what Shima described just goes forth, right, in multitudes. So that's what I want to magnify in this world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny. I guess we can see why we all are together because
we big crybabies.
You're that too.
but we have such a I'll relate it back to the hurts of my life. The hurts that I learned from, the hurt as a career woman, the hurt when I was first married and had a horrible marriage and no one could help us, and the hurt to not be able to give my children everything I've wanted to give them, and seeing them struggle with college loans and things like that, where other children, other young adults, a lot of us do, but you see some that's figured out a way how to do that. So my give back is to create a system, through Girl Bust Up now, that will encourage women that they can do it, to never have a woman feel like they're all alone the way I felt for so many years by myself trying to figure it out. Give them a system that would support them and love them and encourage them and tell them they can. When everybody has told them they can't, that create a system that says, look, we can. And then through that, with marriage and with relationships, giving people hope. So many people talk about broken relationships.
Yeah.
So many of them broken relationships. It's work. It is hard work. But if you work it can work. And that's why Lamont and I are so transparent in our pain, because we believe that the pain has given us a victory in the end, to give that love back to those that are hurt. And then for my children and my grandchildren and my grandchildren's children, to leave them a legacy, a financial legacy. In life is that when we can leave our children, I remember my parents saying their legacy was the education they got us. They didn't get it to us, but they gave us look, you're in America. Here's the legacy. So now to take that a little bit further, to say, because now you've given us this seed of education, I'm going to take my education as far as I can make it produce so that my grandchildren will have something to carry on.
Yeah.
And to give their
beautiful.
Yeah.
Mine's simple. To set a foundation so solid financially within my lifetime that my children never worry about money and instead tap into their full God-given potential and share it with humanity as far as it can go.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
Girl, that ain't simple.
Right.
It's simple as far as how easy it is to speak it in a quick manner.
I love
what
it.
that looks like, it's a lot more complicated than it sounds, but I am grateful for the connections that we have to make all these things possible.
Yeah.
I have the right teachers, the right mentors, the right coaches, and I'm beyond grateful.
Mm.
Only way I can show it is by making it do what it do.
Yeah.
And so everything I put my hands to will grow, prosper, and replicate. So with that, you guys, I want to invite those of you that love what we do here on the show. If you're interested in learning how to start your own show, I will actually be doing what I call live stream basics training on May 20th. So after we're finished here, I'll drop that link in the comments. In the meantime, we love you guys. We will see you next week. The ladies will be discussing how to travel, finding those great deals to get to a destination, but still have some funds to enjoy it while you're there. And we love you guys. Thank you so much for sharing time with us this evening. And we look forward to bringing you bigger, better, greater, more amazing things and continue to grow and pour into you. So those of you that shared time with us tonight, we thank you. And the ladies will see you next week. And I'll be making the magic work in the background.
See you next week. Take care.